The more hype you have, the more interesting your life is. The real reason why RTX 5000 are sold out. Don't believe them. Okay, let's go.
I don't think Nvidia even wants to sell these things. This is RTX 5080. We've seen all the results on these and they're really not that impressive. However though, on Amazon for example, here's RTX 5090. These both released the 5080, 5090 on January 30th, and you scroll through Amazon and
I'm sorry, for the context, the 5080 is not impressive at all. There is barely any difference between the 5080 and the previous 4080 model. The way how it works with the Nvidia models is that the flagship models, the specific generation has, are always inferior to the next generation's 80 model. But what happened here is that the 4090 is still better than the 5080.
just is not available whatsoever.
Everything is sold out.
The 5080 on Amazon, you could buy one. You know, there's one available at $5,000. What a good deal. On Newegg, another retailer, online retailer, check the 5090, and the 5090, yes, there's some listings for it here, but they are out of stock. They're out of stock. Scroll down, out of stock, out of stock. For the 50.
This is exactly what I did last week. By the way, on Thursday, I checked the prices on stream. Everything was out of stock.
80 out of stock, 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 out of stock. You check Micro Center. This is a like brick and mortar retailer that I go to sometimes. I go to the one in Sharonville because I'm from Ohio. Why did I say it like that? Every single one sold out. You cannot buy. You check on Nvidia's own goddamn website with the 5090, 5080 on their search
Even
results.
there.
Yeah, there's tons of listings here as well, and it almost looks like they're in stock on Nvidia's website. But when you check out the actual links, go here. This one's from Micro Center, and we know the ones on Micro Center are completely sold out. What I find hilarious is on eBay right now, there is some listings here that say like the RTX 5090, even here as well with the 5080. Again, there's listings on.
I mean, I thought the prices were weird. No, it's fine.
Like the RTX 5090, even here as well with the 5080. Again, there's listings on eBay like people are scalping them. But when you actually click through these links, this is actually somebody who's trying to combat scalpers of these graphics cards. They say, attention all buyers, human or not, this is a sale of an image of the graphics card, not the card itself, and it will be on a piece of printer paper. No refunds absolutely allowed. Here's another listing on here. There's tons of listings like this on eBay right now. And this one here says, if you are a human buyer, do not purchase. Please read the description carefully. Doing this to take a stand against bots. Scalper bots, welcome. So that
this whole situation seems to be very fucked up.
that's the kind of situation that we're in because the stock is so low. And if you go here on PC part picker,
the stock is really low, yeah.
And you can see there's literally none available on PC Part Picker. This scans the internet for a bunch of different stock. We see the 5080 as well. There's one available for almost $5,000. Probably better off buying a used car with that money. But if we do get on the stack, there is still some
You can even buy a 40. What? That was a 4080, right?
80 as well.
Yeah, 4080. Like just buy a used 4090. Okay, 4090 is amazing.
There's one available for almost $5,000. Probably better off buying a used car with that money. Yep. But if we do get on the stack, there is still some graphics cards available for the RTX 4080. This is still $1,100, which this should be $1,000 and below, but it's still available at times for the 4080 Super, even further to the 4070 Ti Super. This card is supposed to be $800, but it's
the card I have
$50 at the moment. So there isn't even stock of that much of the older cards, nonetheless the new cards that just came out. And there's been some funny memes about this coming out, like here on Reddit, the whole PC community molding about how garbage RTX 50 series is, and it is pretty garbage. I've got tons of
Let me see. The testing, yeah. So I have the 4080 Super and there is the 5080 RTX 5080. Yeah, there's barely any difference between these two models. Considering that it is supposed to be like a generation step, it's bad. You don't want to invest into these cards. The only card that's like actually better, I would say significantly, is the 5090, which is the flagship card. That's like 30% better than the 4090. Still not a big number, but that's much more reasonable to buy, I think, than this thing.
S on it, it's just not really that great. Also, the PC community, them spending thousands for a 5090 and a 5080 on release day, then wondering why Nvidia makes dog shit overpriced GPUs.
Yep.
Which this is also true, because they're sold out everywhere. I mean, I don't think it's the same people complaining about it that are actually buying the graphics cards. Like, I think these are separate people, but it's pretty funny how this all works out. We've said that these are bad, yet they're sold out at launch. Now, why are they sold out?
Give me a sec. What I wanted to say is that one more factor I think that we should not forget about is that I know the Nvidia stock is like climbing back, but it got a huge hit recently because of DeepSeek. I can't even say that name. And so what I think is that in the future there'll be even more questions about Nvidia. People are still like blinded by the hype. I don't know.
That's the real question. Nvidia has manufactured this. They want it to be like this, where the cards appear to be sold out. Now you're going to be going like, oh, that's conspiracy theory, you f***ing idiot, you dumbass. Where's your tinfoil hat? You better start wearing that, buddy. Nvidia knows these graphics cards aren't that great. They showed us this performance. These were all DLSS multi-frame generation, which is a cool feature in its own right, but it isn't the same as real performance. Yet it's comparing to these tests over here that were actually real performance. This is the 5090, another $400 on top of the 4090 is only getting 30% more performance, maybe up to 40% more performance. If you go down the graphics card stack, they're only claiming 33%, 35%. And in my testing, the 5080 was nowhere close to 35% faster than the 4080, like at all ever. There's a reason why Nvidia has priced these cards cheaper. There's a reason why these cards are apparently sold out right now. That's because Nvidia intentionally did not make enough stock. We saw this ahead of time. Like, there was already rumors that the stock was going to be pretty bad. I even had somebody leak stuff to me specifically that yes, the stock was going to be bad for these graphics cards. We knew this for quite a while now. And Gamers Next has just uploaded a video pretty recently. They have more information than I do. This is some information from Micro Center. How many units of the 5080 and 5090 were even available? And the 5090...
Lol, 67? Only 25080s. Then were 10. 91 5080s. That is insane. What I heard is that Germany, for example, in Europe, Germany didn't even get any 5090s. There were no 5090s in Germany. What the fuck? Why?
Is like a 10th or a 9th of what was available of the 5080, probably less than a 10th most of the time. This one in California, technically the 5090 had 67 units and 5080 had 200 units. Gamers Nexus shows that like 3 million people live around this Micro Center, plus another 3 million that live in LA that's not that far away from the specific location. So the stock even at this one is probably pretty low. So it's clear that Nvidia didn't ship out that many units of these graphics cards for sale. But it's also clear that they could have done that. Also, what the heck is this ad? To put it bluntly, don't drive high. That's crazy. It's a new drunk driving ads. This was back in November. They had already stopped production of all of their RTX 40 series GPUs, and they were moving towards everything to the 50 series. The reason they did this is because if we look at the 4090 here, for example, this is built on TSMC 5nm, or actually TSMC 4N process. And if you check out the 5090, TSMC makes it on the exact same manufacturing process, TSMC 5nm or 4N. So
that's the factory in Taiwan, right?
They already had shifted all their production from 40 series to this. They realistically should be able to make quite a bit more of these graphics cards. It's crazy that I'm even holding one. Honestly, probably content creators have more of these graphics cards than are actually available anywhere in the world.
Yeah, I have 17 in my garage. I was like, whatever, let's make sure that I have enough for testing. It's great. Sorry guys. It is what it is.
Just Wow. I have two ideas of why Nvidia has done this, and it might be a combination of the both of them working together that Nvidia chose to make this decision. Even though these cards aren't being that well received, we see by all the reviews and everything, and Nvidia is aware that they wouldn't look good, which would mean them being sold out. This could be to put up the facade that these are popular. They actually wanted to have a supply shortage to make this artificial demand and hype around the product of just trying to get one. Now, this might lead to more sales, but what I think Nvidia wants more out of this is to have higher margins on these products. You have to account that Nvidia has no competition on a 5090. AMD is not competing at $2,000 on a 50.
That's exactly what I thought. Like, because he had a sentence earlier when he said that Nvidia knows that their cards are not good. But still, realistically, the Nvidia graphics cards are very reliable and good cards. The thing is, though, they have no real competition. You use them as fans. Yeah, I have 17 cards and I use them as fans. True.
5080, AMD also isn't competing at $1,000 with that card either. And not only can they appear like these cards are very popular, but also if there's a shortage on supply, that gives Nvidia basically an excuse to increase prices on them because the demand is higher. So that means every single card that they sell, they're going to make more money off of that product individually rather than selling at a more competitive price. So
the way how I think about this is that AI is kicking in, right? I know video cards are necessary for AI. I don't know what kind of GPUs AI requires. Isn't the case with this now is that it is not worth for them to make these cards for the casual audience, for the casual users, but it's worth for them to make very specific cards that are more like AI oriented or that are used to like develop AI, because that's the real that's what generates profit for them. So he might be right, of course. I don't know, like I don't know finance that much or like how to manipulate the market. But I think it would make sense if Nvidia just like acted as if they had like a new series because like they were supposed to get it, have it or something. But the main focus is still on AI and is still on developing AI, and it's just not worth caring about the general public that much. They still act like as if they wanted to care about them, but not really. That's my idea, at least. Is AI the new Bitcoin mining issue? Yeah, no, greed is the issue. Okay? And also making the general public hyped about something all the fucking time. The more hype you have, the more interesting your life is, apparently.
So half of that is for appearances, and then the other half of that is for pricing and getting the most out of each single graphics card they sell. Now, I don't know, based off the response to this, Nvidia might restock more quickly, but they also have no reason to do that. And I wouldn't expect them to restock more graphics cards quickly for everybody. It doesn't make any sense. Then the other, number two is because they're shifting as much of their focus on making these higher end graphics cards, like this one, but more the 5090 tier graphics card, that they're shifting that focus to make AI graphics cards for data centers.
Yeah.
Nvidia has obviously made
I was not even that wrong. Cool.
ton of money on. But recently, Nvidia has been going through some struggles. Yeah, their stock dropped, if you want to put it in the last 5 days, it dropped over 15% in the past 5 days. Like it was like 25% drop in like a day. The reason this has dropped their stock price so much was because a new AI competitor came into the scene called DeepSeek.
Which does the exact same stupid shit as OpenAI, by the way. Tested it. It knows nothing about Valheim. Just saying. That's the ultimate test. And it failed.
This is a Chinese company that is open source. It's a privately owned company, and you can't buy shares of them. Like the stock market can be a good and a bad thing because it does prioritize profit, but at the same time, it can really ruin the long-term goals of a company. Now, DeepSeek doesn't really need Nvidia GPUs. It's an AI model that was trained off of much lesser hardware.
I think in a way it is good that DeepSeek came out because there is a competitor now. And especially considering this that DeepSeek doesn't need that high like requirements to work. That's actually good for us, I think, in the long run. But we'll see.
and it just runs much more efficiently. So they can work on lower end hardware, and it didn't cost them nearly as much to do this. If companies like this start prioritizing these smaller models that don't require nearly as many resources, then Nvidia's place in the AI market,
I love the cat tail there. Look at that. The cat sitting on his lap or something.
it might take a huge dive. Now, I think there will always still be a place for the really big models in data centers that companies need to work on and research for and all that kind of stuff. But there's also going to be a place for, you know, smaller models. Most people want a model, an AI model that they can use and run on their device locally, like on your phone or on your laptop. So that's the situation we're in. It's like Nvidia may have been prioritizing, you know, these chips for the graphics cards that we just want to play some goddamn video games with. They just,
yeah, we don't count. I think that's what's happening. AI matters because that's where the monies are.
just want to use those to make AI chips for data centers. But that might end up biting them in the ass right now if supply or demand on the market does start to drop. We'll see how the bet plays off if that's the case, but
The reason why I am like partially happy about this drop that Nvidia had is that them competing might result in us getting more attention. I don't know. Or maybe I'm just naive again.
that one's a little bit more subjective. That's why Nvidia is doing that. Again, I think the main cause of this is to make an artificial supply limit, which will make the demand seem like it's greater than it is, and Nvidia can get more money off of each individual graphics card. And Nvidia has no competition on these high-end graphics cards to check them on this anti-consumer behavior. And this can mask the whole thing that these graphics cards suck. They're not exciting. Like, you're not missing out on anything.
Oh, that's such a good point. Yeah. The scarcity, the artificial scarcity generates or like creates this feeling that that thing that you want to get is actually worth getting. If you dive deeper into the details, you quickly find that it is just unnecessary to purchase these cards because they're not good enough.
If you don't have the big shiny new 50 series graphics card, seriously, you're not going to miss out on anything. In fact, actually, Nvidia for some reason did do a very pro-consumer move, and that was make their new DLSS 4, the model that isn't multi-frame generation yet. There's multi-frame generation in it. They exclude that part. They made the whole upscaling and ray reconstruction models and the last generation frame generation ×2 mode. They improved all those things in the latest update, and that will be coming to all RTX GPUs.
I'm not gonna lie, I have this feeling that what they're doing right now is that they came out with the new generation because they were supposed to come out with the new generation. On the other hand, they want to focus on AI GPUs rather than consumer, casual, everyday usage GPUs. And in order to give this image of being like a decent company, they still like produced the cards, the 50 series cards, but not enough. Which is, from a marketing perspective, seems to be a good idea. But on the other hand, they came out with this, with the DLSS 4 features to somewhat, you know, put like a band-aid on the wound or something like that. That they're like manipulating the market. They're manipulating this, like it's like a psychological game that they are playing right now, giving and taking, mostly taking, but acting as if they were giving a lot.
And it's optional if you want to use it or if you don't want to use it. It's pretty cool. So I'll probably be making a video on that pretty soon, but yeah, Nvidia did do a pro-consumer move. That's pretty cool. I didn't expect them to do that. What's crazy is, you know, when these 50 series cards were initially announced, they were presented to be these pretty good value cards that were providing quite a bit and cutting the price of it. And then when you dug into it a little bit more, like with this spreadsheet here and everything that I made, you guys probably saw this video.
What do you think this will mean for the game dev people? I don't know, I'm not an expert, I'm just saying like what seems to be logical, honestly.
When you actually dug into it, they really weren't that crazy and the performance wasn't going to be that crazy. I called this shit like way off the jump, bro. Call me a freaking telepath or something. I don't know what's happening anymore. And now they're limiting supply on purpose to make them seem like they are as good as what we maybe would have thought they would have been. That's the situation we're in, and Nvidia is probably playing some crazy mind games right now. Again, I don't think you should be
I think that's the case. Yeah, they're playing some crazy mind games. They are like, they act as if we mattered, but what really matters is the AI GPUs. Game devs can add more bloat and less optimization if people have better graphics cards. Yeah, the better the graphics cards are, the lazier the game devs can be, right? What happened in the 90s and the early 2000s is that the people didn't have good PCs, right? So they needed to optimize the games really, really well. But as the general public started to have like better and better PCs, game devs started to focus on like how the games look rather than how the game mechanics worked. That is such a good point. That's why we have gigantic games that look good but play as just feel bad to play.
Be clamoring to buy these. You're not missing out on that much, and I don't recommend it. Honestly, probably most people watching this video don't care about the new cards, let's be honest. And
also, so what I wanted to say with this is that it's not necessarily a problem if we can't get better cards, because game devs will need to improve their games, the optimization. Laziness is getting to be the normal of the world these days. Efficiency. Everyone is min-maxing. Minimal effort, maximum profit. That's what we are doing.
the people that do care about them.
No. Min-maxing is good. Hold on, I take it back. Min-maxing is good. What's happening is that people are putting less and less effort and expecting more and more results and better results without actually putting the work into the stuff. That's what you meant, and I think that's very accurate.
And are buying them, probably don't watch the video. That sucks. I can only talk to so many people. Maybe I'm a crazy guy with a tinfoil hat. Let me know in the comments below. There is an offhand chance that Nvidia genuinely couldn't make enough GPUs. It's just all the evidence that's leading up to this just does not make me think that whatsoever, but that is still on the table technically. All right, that's been it for me. I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Y'all have a good one.
So thanks for watching this. Let's go back to PoE 2. Absolutely. Here's the link for the video. Thank you guys for watching this together. As I said, from now on, I'm gonna upload all of these reactions to YouTube, where you can watch them. If you missed them here, every Monday and Thursday is reaction time, kind of. One video at least. The guy's fat cat couldn't get up on the bed at the end of the video. Look at the bottom right. Oh my god, really? Let me see.
There is an offhand chance that whatsoever, but
hey, the cat made it. Third try, but it made it.